Morning all, please be seated. I'm going to start with our land acknowledgement. We'd like to begin by acknowledging the land on which we gather is the traditional, ancestral and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, including the territories of the Malahat, Cowichan and Saanich nations. We're grateful for the opportunity to live, learn and share in this beautiful region, and we aspire to healthy and respectful relationships with those that have lived on and cared for these lands for millennia. So I think most of you know who I am. I'm the head of Shawnigan Lake School, Mr. Lamont. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome back returning students, so many familiar faces flooding through the doors of chapel, and to extend a huge welcome to all those new students and staff in chapel today. And those returning students and staff, let's give them a traditional Shawnigan welcome to our community. For many of you, I think it's nearly 200, this is a new campus, a new adventure, and there are going to be fresh challenges to face. And there are going to be moments in the next couple of days or weeks where you're maybe straight after chapel, on your way to class, when you're lost, you're unsure, you're a little bit wobbly, you're not backing yourself. As you learn the rhythms of Shawnigan, we're here to help, we're here to support, and just look around and people will step forward and support you to the best of their ability. When you drove in for the first time to campus, you will have driven past the Shawnigan stag, that large statue on your right as you come in. That, of course, is the emblem of Shawnigan. But next time you walk past it, look at the little plaque underneath it. And it says that the stag is charged to look after all who enter our campus community. It's a reassuring message to us all. In fact, I was walking home on Tuesday night. We saw many of the new students' parents in here in chapel. And as I was going home at about 6 o'clock in the evening with my 10-year-old daughter, Poppy, as I got level with the stag, I realized there was actually a real life stag, about 5 yards to the left of it, between the stag and Copeman's and Groves. And I took that as a reassuring message. I took it as a auspicious signal for the term ahead. Out of the graduating class of 2022, one student wrote, and I thought captured the moment perfectly about their Shawnigan education. He wrote perceptively and astutely, "Shawnigan didn't just give me an opportunity, it gave me a community. This is your community now." We pride ourselves here at Shawnigan on a deep sense of belonging, and that belonging is to people and the place. From wherever you are in the world, whether locally in Cowichan Valley, to Montreal, from Japan to Brazil, from Afghanistan to Ukraine. I've met so many students in the last couple of days drawn from all over the world. We hope you will find Shawnigan, in fact we know you will find your boarding house a home away from home. Underpinning the world of Shawnigan are our values, and they're easy to remember. They're the 4 C's, they're curiosity, compassion, community, and courage. We make all our decisions with that underpinning, and that is the central core of how we are and live at Shawnigan. We respect each other. We tread softly around each other's dreams. As you'll come to learn, one of the most special things about Shawnigan is being in this room, and the Rev's going to speak to this in a little bit. And we sing together. And in 25 years of being an educator and visiting schools across the world, this is the finest school in terms of singing in chapel. We take great pleasure. Some of you are thinking, I hate singing. I'm tone deaf. I'm never going to open my mouth. But here we really, really love singing together. There's something very special about singing in unison. I'm sure some of the senior students in your houses have already started teaching you the house hymn. We take pride in our individual hymns, but there are other hymns in there which are not attached to houses that we love singing together. So we're going to sing a little bit this morning, and if you're a little uncertain or completely unfamiliar with the tune, give it your best shot, listen to the people around you, and I really expect the returning staff and students to lead the way on this. And there's a little bit of training thrown into this. Miss Daniel, who's our wonderful organist up at the back, is going to probably, maybe just before I ask them to stand up, will you just give them the first verse of There's a Voice in the Wilderness, which is the school hymn, and let's just enjoy listening to it, and we'll pick up the tune from there. Over to you, Tricia. Tricia, that's I Vow to Thee, My Country. There's a voice in the wilderness. You're really going to bamboozle them with that one. So it's hymn number 1. Don't speak, stand up in silence together, and we'll crack off. Please be seated. So, over to the Reverend Holland, who we affectionately call the Rev, to introduce you to this magical place. Over to you, Rev.
Thank you, Mr. Lammett. That was great. I kind of like a car starting up in the morning. You just started a little bit hesitant and really ended strong. Do you feel that, Declan? Yeah, it was great. Thank you. So what strikes me today is how many of us are in this chapel. It just feels like a lot of people. And we are a lot of people in here. And we are people from all over the world, from all different kinds of backgrounds and cultures and religious backgrounds. So one of my main charges is to ensure that everyone in this community feels welcome in this chapel and as we gather in chapel and celebrate together and think together. So my message to you today is that every one of you is welcome, every one of you belongs here, every one of you, with wherever you come from, whether you have a devout connection to a faith or no faith whatsoever, every one of you is just perfect the way you are right now in this chapel. We're really bringing all of our individuality here together, but we're also coming together to form a community of compassion and kindness together. So what are we doing in chapel anyways? Here's what I've been thinking about this morning, is that, we are a incredibly, incredibly privileged group of people. Perhaps, one of the most privileged groups of people on the face of the earth. We have everything. And maybe even as you noticed in the last hymn, it's very important for us to remember what's really important. And we know what those things are: friendship, kindness, responsibility, care for other people, service, all of the things that really make life worthwhile, aside from all the stuff that we have. So, in one way, chapel is a place to kind of dive a little bit deeper into who we are as a community and who we are as individuals. Does that make sense? So we do that in all kinds of ways, and singing is just one of them. So that's really all I want to say this morning. And if anybody has any questions or concerns for me, please come and talk to me. As I said to the parents of the new students, I know it's sometimes the chaplain, just because I'm chaplain, it's a bit formidable, but I'm really a very nice person. You can ask the old students. So welcome. I'll have lots more to say on Saturday when we gather for our first chapel service. And I just wish you a wonderful, wonderful first day of classes.
Thanks, Rev. We're very, very lucky to have the Rev, as you'll come to realize. Certainly in my time, he's the finest chaplain I've ever worked with, and we look forward to coming to chapel, and you make us look forward to coming to chapel, and we so appreciate your guidance in all walks of our community life, Rev. So we're going to sing hymn number 5, and this is Jerusalem, and this is actually Kay's house hymn. I'm not going to ask them to sing the first verse on their own, because that might be a little bit cruel. But we're not going to, it's a more familiar hymn, so we're not going to lead off Miss Daniel with the first verse for them to listen. We're going to go straight into it. But where are Kay sitting? Perfect. You're right there. So high expectations for you leading the way, and we'll be singing in parallel with you. And please rise in silence. Hymn number 5.
Oh Please be seated.
Beautifully sung. I actually had goosebumps that you sang that so well, and that's a great start to the academic year. It's my great pleasure to invite up our two heads of school, the equivalent of sort of the senior prefects, Henri from Ripley's, Ingrid from Kay's, and they're behind me. They were the two who walked me down the aisle, and they're going to come up and say a few words of welcome to our student body.
Welcome to the 2022-2023 school year. My name is Henry, I'm in Ripley's, and along with Ingrid, we are your co-heads of school. However, we are not alone. If I could ask all the prefects and heads of houses to stand up. Come on. There is a whole group of us here who are here to help you and make Shawnigan your home like it is for all of us. Thank you. Now to switch notes, I'd like to give you some advice from my personal experience, and trust me, I have a lot being a 6th year. This year, there are going to be a lot of ups and downs in every aspect of your lives, from the classroom to your house. And you know what? That's okay. I can't put a number to the amount of times I've wanted to dig my head into my pillow because I didn't get the grade I wanted or because I failed number ones. But look, here I am now with my head not in a pillow. The Shawnigan journey, whether it's final year or it's first, is something that is truly remarkable, something that most students around the world do not get to experience. How much a person changes along this journey, individually and as part of the school community, is outstanding. If I could give you one piece of advice, it is to focus on the wins in your journey at Shawnigan and not the losses, because there's going to be plenty of both. I'm very excited to be one of your co-heads of school, and I would like to hopefully get to know all of you. Now I'd like to pass it on to Ingrid. Sorry.
Thank you. Just 1 second here. Hi, everyone. As Mr. Lamont had previously discussed, the idea of belonging and how it is the cornerstone of everything that we do at Shawnigan. Throughout my time at Shawnigan, the way I perceived the word belonging has shifted as I've gotten older and maybe even a little bit wiser. When entering a place like this, full of amazingly motivated and talented people, it is easy to feel like you always have something greater to live up to, or someone better that you should be. At the start of my Shawnigan journey, I had an action plan in my mind designed to turn me into the person that I wanted to become. One of them, to be a field hockey player, following in the footsteps of my mom, who had been the captain when she played at my age. Let's just say that as soon as I tried to hit the ball, my plans to become a star on the turf quickly had to be changed. I'm sorry, Miss Conroy. I learned that the way that I thought I should be had nothing to do with the person that I am. There is no guidebook on how to succeed at Shawnigan, but I can tell you one thing. You don't have a set path that you have to follow. There is no predetermined mold that you can fit yourself into and feel as though you truly belong. I urge you to take on challenges and to share the things that you are passionate about with everyone around you. Embrace all of the ways that you are different and use those things to create the kind of school environment that you want to belong to. You are in a place filled to the brim with people who are committed to ensuring that you reach your full potential. So take advantage of your opportunity to carve your own path and create the Shawnigan experience that will fulfill who you are. As your heads of school, Henry, myself, and all of the grade 12 leaders are here to represent your thoughts, your ideas, and your unique perspectives. All of us in this room have the chance to learn from each other, to support each other, and to contribute our uniqueness to the community that we all belong to. Thank you.
And for the record, Ingrid, you were probably the best super sub and cheerleader that we had in the field hockey squad last year. Right, next up, there's one house that's particularly famed for how loud they sing their chorus, and it's Lonsdale's house, and they're at the back, and it's called How Great Thou Art, number 7, and let's, with the last hymn, raise the rooftops, and please stand in silence. Hymn number 7. Let's go down again. Bit of training, and in silence. So this is a bit of a Bible for all of you, the Gold Book. You should all have one by now, and it tells you about life at Shawnigan. It will help organize your lives. Well, every year, Mrs. Milne, who's sitting next to me here, who's deputy head, assistant head academics, she asks me to find a quote to put in at the beginning of the Gold Book each year. I'm not allowed to choose the same one. She wants originality. And over the time I've been head here for 4 years, I've picked a quote by Nelson Mandela, by Maya Angelou, Arundhati Roy, Maya Angelou, the civil rights campaigner and American novelist, Arundhati Roy, also an Indian novelist, and I think you all know Nelson Mandela, the South African statesman. Well, this year I chose Kurt Hahn, very famous German educator, and he said this, and I thought it's sort of a good message for all of you. It's absolutely normal to be doubting yourself a little bit this morning and maybe not backing yourself, but maybe singing those hymns has fired you up a little bit, given you that bit of steel as you step forward from chapel. Well, Kurt Hahn wrote this: "There is more to us than we know, if we can be made to see it. Perhaps for the rest of our lives, we will be unwilling to settle for less." There is undoubtedly more in us than we know. And one of our great joys at Shawnigan is not only you finding that out, but you also seeing it in your peers, in your teachers. There is always more in us than we know. And when you are having a little wobble, open the front of the Gold Book, read that, and it might just give you that extra little bit of fire in the belly. My message for the academic term ahead is work hard, connect, be thoughtful, mindful of others, respect the campus, share what Ingrid spoke about there, that sense of place and belonging. And all we ask, and all your parents ask, is do and be the best you can be. I'm certainly not going to remember perhaps a word any of us said this morning to launch the academic year, but I hope that you remember just how you felt sitting in here next to new friends, with your boarding house, with staff around to support you, and prefects there in support. Enjoy yourselves. Good luck with the term ahead. We're back in here on Saturday morning, and we wear our number ones, and we take great pride in how we look in chapel. If you are wondering why my seat is vacant and some of your house directors might not be here, some of us have been invited to Chilliwack. One of our prefects from last year, Darwin from Lonsdale's, is having his naming ceremony. And it's a great privilege to have been invited to that at the Stolo Nation and in their longhouse. So we will be there on Saturday morning. The Rev will be in charge and has lots of exciting plans for chapel. You are heading towards a new timetable for the new students. It's a new timetable anyway. For the returning students, lots of hard work has been put into it. We piloted a new one for 2 years, and we've made some other changes to it, perhaps lengthening lunchtime, giving you an advisor slot so you can connect with your advisors, or tutorials, and just that opportunity to pick up extra help. And there are some tweaks in there as well. But rapidly, you'll learn the new rhythm. We listen to your feedback, students and staff, and we've put some changes in place for it. And as ever, it's a pilot. We're always looking to tweak it and develop it for Shawnigan and for your experience. So, I think that's all. What I'm going to do is ask, as a mark of respect, all students to stand in silence. I'm going to ask the staff, and good luck to our staff for your first lessons with the students, and good luck to the students with your first lessons. If you're thinking, at this moment, I have no idea where I'm going, turn to someone in your house who's in your